The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday morning, its signature bypassing every encryption protocol humanity had developed. On screens across Earth's unified defense network, the same words appeared in perfectly rendered text. Your presence is required. The assembly awaits. Admiral Sarah Chen stood in the United Earth Council chamber, her weathered face illuminated by the holographic message floating above the central podium. Around her, 200 of humanity's leaders sat in stunned silence. It had been only 30 years since humanity achieved faster-than-light travel, and barely 20 since they'd made first contact with alien civilizations. Now the mysterious Galactic Assembly, a body they'd only heard whispers of, was summoning them. They'd given us 7 standard days to appear, Sarah announced, her voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. The coordinates point to a location we've designated as the Veil Nebula. Counselor James Okonjo leaned forward, his dark eyes reflecting the shimmer of the hologram. Can we refuse? The message came with a demonstration. Sarah replied, gesturing to her aide. The hologram shifted, showing footage from Mars' outer defense perimeter. A small probe, no larger than a shuttle, had appeared from nowhere. In the next instant, every weapon system in the sector simply deactivated. No explosion, no dramatic shutdown. They just stopped being. The chamber erupted in worried murmurs. Humanity had fought hard for its independence among the stars, developing technologies that let them compete with civilizations thousands of years their senior. But this was beyond anything they'd seen. We've analyzed the probe's signature. Dr. Maya Patel, Earth's leading xenotechnologist, stepped forward. Her traditional Indian attire stood out among the military uniforms and formal suits. It operates on principles we've theorized but never achieved, the manipulation of fundamental forces at a quantum level. Sarah watched the council's reactions. Fear, yes, but also something else. The same fire she'd seen in humanity's eyes when they first reached for the stars. We're going, she declared, silencing the chamber. But not as supplicants. We've earned our place among the stars. Now we need to prove it. The next week was a blur of preparation. The UES Prometheus, humanity's newest diplomatic vessel, was chosen to make the journey. While officially classified as a diplomatic ship, it carried within its sleek hull the best of human innovation: quantum computers, dark energy drives, and defense systems that had already proven themselves against pirates and hostile species. Sarah stood on the bridge, watching Earth grow smaller through the main viewport. Beside her, Dr. Patel was running final diagnostics on their sensor arrays. They'd modified them specifically for this mission, hoping to gather as much data as possible about the assembly. Admiral, Maya's voice was tight with excitement. I'm detecting something unusual in the quantum field ahead. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Before Sarah could respond, space itself seemed to unfold. There was no other word for it. Where empty void had been moments before, a massive structure now existed. It defied conventional geometry, its surfaces shifting and flowing like liquid metal while maintaining perfect structural integrity. By all the stars, Maya whispered, it's a quantum architecture. The entire station exists in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. A new message appeared on their screens. Approach vector uploaded. Welcome, children of Earth, to the nexus of the assembly. As they drew closer, Sarah felt a weight settle onto her shoulders. In her 30 years of service, from the Mars colonies to the Jupiter expansion, she'd never felt such responsibility. They weren't just representing Earth anymore. They were representing humanity's right to exist among the stars. The Prometheus docked with impossible smoothness, guided by forces they could barely detect. As Sarah led her team toward the airlock, she noticed something odd about the station's interior. Despite its alien nature, the corridors seemed accommodating. The atmosphere, gravity, and even the lighting were perfect for human comfort. They've been watching us for a long time, Maya noted, her sensors constantly gathering data. This isn't just a hastily prepared reception. They knew exactly who we are and what we need. Sarah nodded grimly. That was both reassuring and deeply unsettling. As they approached what their guides had designated as the assembly chamber, she straightened her uniform. Remember, she addressed her team, whatever happens in there, we stand proud. Humanity didn't reach the stars by cowering. The doors before them, if they could be called doors, dissolved into mist. Beyond lay a chamber that seemed to extend into infinity, filled with beings of such diverse form that human eyes struggled to comprehend them all. Some were energy constructs, others were massive crystalline structures, and still others seemed to shift between states of matter casually. At the center of it all, a voice spoke directly into their minds, somehow maintaining perfect clarity while remaining utterly alien. Humanity stands before the assembly. You have grown quickly, spread far, and developed much. Now you must answer. Why should you be allowed to continue? Sarah stepped forward, her voice clear and unwavering. With respect, we reject the premise of your question. We don't need permission to exist. A ripple of what might have been surprise or amusement passed through the gathered beings. The trial of humanity had begun, and their opening move had just changed all the rules. The silence that followed Sarah's declaration seemed to stretch into eternity. The assembly chamber's infinite expanse filled with whispers that sounded like wind through quantum strings. Finally, a being of pure crystalline light moved forward, its voice resonating through multiple dimensions. Bold words, children of Earth, but the cosmos demands more than mere boldness. Show us why you deserve to walk among the stars. Dr. Maya Patel stepped forward, her quantum tablet projecting a holographic display that seemed primitive compared to the assembly's technology, yet held its own unique elegance. Let me show you humanity's journey, she began, but a sudden burst of energy interrupted her. A new entity emerged, a swirling mass of dark matter that spoke with a voice like collapsing stars. We have watched your progress. 30 years from primitive chemical rockets to quantum drive technology. It is unprecedented. It is impossible. It suggests interference. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. She'd expected accusations of aggression, of expansion too rapid and uncontrolled. But this was something else entirely. Maya's fingers flew across her tablet, bringing up new data. With respect, Ambassador, she addressed the dark matter entity. Our progress is well documented. Every breakthrough, every setback, every triumph and failure, all recorded in perfect detail. Yes, the entity pulsed. Too perfect, too linear, too designed. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien communications. Sarah watched as Maya's face suddenly change, her eyes widening as she looked at something on her tablet. Admiral, she whispered, they're right, but not in the way they think. Before Sarah could respond, a new figure emerged from the assembly, a being that seemed to be made of living mathematics, its form constantly calculating and recalculating itself. We have analyzed your genetic structure, your neural patterns, your technological advancement curve. They follow the golden ratio too precisely to be natural evolution. Sarah straightened her back, years of diplomatic training kicking in. Are you suggesting someone engineered humanity? No, Maya interrupted, her voice trembling with excitement. Look at this. She expanded her holographic display, showing a complex pattern of human technological advancement over the past century. The pattern isn't imposed from outside. It's emerging from within. We're not following someone else's design. We're following our own inherent pattern. The crystalline being moved closer, its light refracting through Maya's hologram. Explain. Maya's fingers danced across her tablet, overlaying humanity's advancement pattern with something else, the fundamental mathematical constants of the universe itself. Every major breakthrough we've made aligns perfectly with the universe's basic structure. We didn't copy anyone's technology. We discovered how the universe wants technology to work. The dark matter entity swirled agitatedly. Impossible. No species naturally aligns with cosmic mathematics. Unless, Sarah stepped forward, the pieces falling into place. That's exactly what we evolved to do. Maya nodded, her display shifting to show human brain structure. Our neural patterns, they don't just process information, they resonate with quantum fields. We're not just thinking about the universe, we're thinking with it. The living mathematics being seemed to calculate faster, its form becoming more complex. This would explain the anomalies in your development. Your species doesn't just learn, you synchronize. Sarah felt a strange sense of pride mixed with vertigo. The implications were staggering. We're not asking for permission to exist among the stars, she declared. We're showing you why we already belong here. But even as she spoke, Maya's tablet pinged with a new alert. Her face paled as she read the incoming data from the Prometheus. "Admiral," she whispered, "there's something else. Something in our genetic code that we've never noticed before. It's like a message." The assembly chamber seemed to contract, focusing on Maya's discovery. The crystalline being's light dimmed to a soft glow. "Show us." Maya's hand shook slightly as she expanded the new data. Within the supposedly junk DNA of every human being, there was a pattern, not just random noise, but a carefully encoded sequence that had waited eons to be discovered. "It's old," Maya breathed. "Older than our species. Someone wrote this into our ancestors' genetic code millions of years ago, and it's been waiting for us to become advanced enough to read it." The dark matter entity moved closer, its voice now holding a note of what might have been concern. "What does it say?" Before Maya could answer, the message began decoding itself, spreading across her holographic display in symbols that shifted and changed until they formed words in every human language simultaneously. "To those who find this message, you are not alone. You were chosen. And now, at last, you are ready to learn why." Sarah watched as the assembly erupted into chaos. They had come here to defend humanity's right to exist among the stars, only to discover that someone had placed them there purposefully, eons ago. But who? And more importantly, why? As if in answer to her unspoken question, the Prometheus sent another signal. Something vast and ancient had just appeared in the space around the assembly station, its energy signature unlike anything humanity had ever encountered. The real trial was about to begin. The entity that materialized near the assembly station defied conventional description. It appeared as a shifting lattice of light and darkness, its structure suggesting both organic and technological origins. As it approached, the assembly members drew back, their various forms radiating what Sarah could only interpret as ancient recognition. The archivist's return. The crystalline being's voice held a tremor of awe. After 50 million years of silence, Maya's instruments were going hayward, trying to analyze the impossible readings from the ancient entity. "Admiral," she whispered, "it's not just one being. It's billions of connected consciousnesses, all operating in perfect quantum harmony." The archivist spoke, its voice somehow translating itself into comprehensible form for every species present. "We have watched and waited. The pattern is complete. The resonance is achieved. Its attention focused on the human delegation. You have questions." Sarah stepped forward, her diplomatic training warring with her burning curiosity. "You wrote the message in our DNA. You've been watching us. Why?" The answer came not in words but in images that bloomed directly in their minds. They saw the galaxy as it was 50 million years ago, teeming with civilizations that had reached technological supremacy. They watched as these civilizations, in their quest for ultimate power, began to tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. "We were the watchers," the archivist explained. "We saw the pattern of destruction repeat across 1,000 species. Technology without harmony, power without understanding. Each race reaching for the stars with hands that would crush them." The vision shifted, showing the archivist's intervention. They had not destroyed the failing civilizations, but rather had preserved their essence, their knowledge, their consciousness, storing them within their own vast network of minds. "We understood then that the flaw was fundamental. Species evolved to survive, to dominate, to consume. None evolved to resonate with the universe itself, until we found your world. Maya's tablet chimed with new data as the archivist continued. Your ancestors were simple primates, but they held a unique genetic potential. Through careful manipulation over millions of years, we guided your evolution not toward mere survival, but toward universal harmony. The dark matter entity swirled in agitation. You created weapons. No, the archivist's response held something like sadness. We created guardians, a species that could understand the universe from within, that could develop technology in harmony with cosmic laws rather than in defiance of them. Sarah felt the weight of this revelation settle over her team. The golden ratio in our development, our ability to synchronize with quantum fields. You built these into our very nature. We provided the foundation. You built upon it in ways even we did not anticipate. Your art, your music, your poetry, they all reflect the same cosmic harmonies present in your science. You do not merely exist in the universe, you sing with it. The living mathematics being calculated furiously. Their potential power is immense. If they truly resonate with fundamental forces, their potential for preservation is immense, the archivist corrected. Humanity does not reach for the stars to conquer them, but to understand them, to protect them. Maya's hands trembled as she worked her tablet. The message in our DNA, it's not just text. It's a key, isn't it? A key to your archives. The archivist's form shifted in what might have been approval. The accumulated knowledge of 1,000 fallen civilizations preserved within our network. Knowledge that requires harmony to access, wisdom that demands understanding to use. Humanity is ready to become its stewards. Sarah looked around the assembly chamber, at the beings who had summoned them for judgment. We don't seek to rule the stars, she declared. We seek to ensure that no more civilizations destroy themselves as those in your archives did. We want to help preserve the cosmic harmony, not disrupt it. The archivist's form expanded, connecting to the assembly's quantum architecture. Suddenly, the infinite chamber was filled with visions of humanity's potential future, not as conquerors, but as guardians, helping young civilizations develop in harmony with the universe, preventing the catastrophes that had led to the archivist's intervention so long ago. The assembly did not summon you here, the archivist revealed. We did through them. The time has come for humanity to understand its true purpose. But even as these words resonated through the chamber, Maya's tablet detected a new signal, a desperate transmission from Earth. While they had been here, something had emerged from deep space, heading toward the solar system. Something old and hostile, and very, very afraid of what humanity might become. The archivist's form pulsed with recognition. They have returned. The destroyers we could not preserve, the ones who broke themselves trying to break the universe. They sense your awakening, and they come to prevent what they fear most, a species that might succeed where they failed. Sarah met the archivist's gaze, if such a thing could be said to exist. How long do we have? They will reach Earth in 48 hours. The choice is yours. Face them as you are, or accept your heritage and face them as what you were meant to be. The assembly chamber fell silent as humanity stood on the brink of its greatest decision. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath, waiting to see if their chosen guardians would finally take up their destined mantle. The Prometheus's quantum communication array flared to life, projecting images of massive objects emerging from the depths of space. They were like twisted inversions of ships, their forms violating the laws of physics in ways that made Maya's instruments spiral into confusion. Earth's defense fleet was mobilizing, but against such entities, their most advanced weapons might as well have been stone axes. The inverse, the archivist's voice held ancient sorrow. They sought to master the universe by breaking its laws. In doing so, they broke themselves, becoming something that should not exist. Sarah watched the feed from Earth, her jaw tight. You said we have a choice. What exactly are you offering? The archivist's form shifted, creating a space within itself that seemed to open into infinity. Access to what you already are. The genetic keys we planted in your species do more than mark you as chosen. They allow you to fully awaken to the universe's true nature. Admiral. Maya's voice shook as she analyzed new data. The inverse ships, they're not just breaking physics, they're actively corrupting it. Everywhere they pass, the fundamental constants are shifting. If they reach Earth, all you have built will unravel, the living mathematics being concluded. Your civilization will not merely fall, it will retroactively never have existed. Sarah felt the weight of billions of lives pressing down on her shoulders. If we accept this awakening, what do we become? The answer came not in words but in understanding. The archivists had designed humanity to be more than mere biological entities. Within each human cell lay the potential to sync not just with quantum fields, but with reality itself, to become beings of pure universal harmony. You would not lose your humanity, the archivist assured them. You would fulfill it. This was always your destiny, not to conquer the stars, but to sing with them, to maintain the harmony that holds reality together. Through the quantum feed, they watched Earth's fleet engage the first wave of inverse ships. Advanced human weaponry passed straight through the impossible vessels, which seemed to exist in dimensions that weaponry couldn't reach. The defenders were fighting shadows, while the real threat approached unchallenged. How? Sarah's voice was steady despite the devastation she was witnessing. How do we accept this heritage? The archivist extended tendrils of pure information toward the human delegation. The process must begin with fuel that will spread to all who choose to accept it. Your bodies already contain the necessary patterns. We need only activate them. Maya's tablet suddenly lit up with new readings. Admiral, look at this. The genetic message we found. It's not just data. It's a program, written into the very structure of our DNA. All it needs is the right key to execute. Sarah turned to her team, seeing the same mix of fear and determination in their eyes that she felt in her heart. They had come here to defend humanity's right to exist among the stars. Instead, they had discovered humanity's duty to protect those stars. Will it hurt? Someone asked softly. It will feel, the archivist responded, like remembering something you have always known. Through the quantum feed, they watched another Earth ship fall to the inverse. The impossible vessels were getting closer to their home, leaving a wake of corrupted physics behind them. Sarah straightened her uniform one last time. Do it. The archivist's form enveloped them in light that wasn't light, in energy that wasn't energy. Sarah felt something unlock deep within her cells, a pattern that had waited millions of years to complete itself. It felt like falling upward, like being unmade and remade in the same instant. When it was done, she opened eyes that could see the quantum fabric of reality itself. Around her, her team was undergoing the same transformation. Maya's wonder was palpable as she perceived the mathematical beauty of existence without need for instruments. The genetic program is spreading, Maya observed with her new senses. Every human who chooses to accept it will undergo the same awakening. Through their enhanced perception, they could see the true horror of what approached Earth. The inverse weren't just ships, they were wounds in reality, tears in the fabric of existence left by beings who had tried to force the universe to submit to their will. How do we stop them? Sarah asked, feeling the power of universal harmony coursing through her transformed being. You already know, the archivist replied. You have always known. It is why we chose your species. And they did know. The knowledge was there in their awakened cells, in the pattern that had guided human development for millions of years. They weren't weapons, weren't warriors. They were something far more fundamental. They were guardians of harmony itself. Sarah turned to her team, her form now rippling with the same cosmic energies they all shared. Let's go home. We have a universe to protect. As they prepared to return to Earth, the assembly watched in astonished silence. They had gathered to judge humanity's right to exist among the stars. Instead, they had witnessed the awakening of the force that would ensure those stars kept shining. The final battle for reality itself was about to begin. The Prometheus returned to Earth through space that was already beginning to unravel. The inverse ships had carved wounds in reality itself, leaving trails of corrupted physics in their wake. Stars viewed through these distortions shone with impossible colors, their light breaking fundamental laws that had governed the universe since its birth. Sarah stood on the bridge, her transformed consciousness perceiving layers of reality that her human form had never imagined. Beside her, Maya wasn't just operating her instruments. She had become one with them, her awakened mind processing quantum data as naturally as breathing. The genetic program has spread to 70% of Earth's population, Maya reported, her voice carrying harmonics that resonated with the ship's quantum core. Those who chose to accept it are awakening to their true nature. Through their enhanced perception, they watched Earth's transformation. Billions of minds were opening to the universe's fundamental harmony, becoming living expressions of the cosmic order. It was beautiful, terrible, and absolutely necessary. The inverse fleet hung in high orbit, their impossible geometries casting shadows that fell upward into space. They were an affront to existence itself, created by beings who had tried to force the universe to obey their will rather than work in harmony with it. "They're afraid," Maya observed, reading the quantum distortions around the enemy ships. "They sense what we've become." Sarah nodded, understanding flowing through her awakened consciousness. The inverse weren't truly evil. They were broken, shattered remnants of a civilization that had chosen the wrong path. In trying to master reality, they had removed themselves from its harmony. All Earth ships, all awakened humans, Sarah's voice carried through quantum channels, reaching every transformed mind on and around Earth. Remember what we are. We're not here to destroy. We're here to restore harmony. The inverse fleet launched their attack, reality-twisting weapons that should have unmade everything they touched. But humanity had changed. Where the corrupted physics approached, awakened humans resonated with the true fabric of space-time, reinforcing it, strengthening it. "We are the song, not the sword," Sarah broadcast, the words carrying understanding on levels beyond language. Around Earth, millions of awakened minds joined together, their consciousness linking in patterns that echoed the universe's fundamental structure. The first wave of inverse weapons dissolved, unable to corrupt what was in perfect harmony with existence itself. The enemy ships launched more, their impossible forms writhing in what might have been fury or fear. Maya's transformed consciousness detected something new. "Admiral, look at the pattern they're creating. The weapons, the ships, they're not just attacking. They're trying to create a cascade failure in local space-time." Sarah saw it too. If the inverse succeeded, they wouldn't just destroy Earth. They would create a wound in reality that would spread, corrupting everything it touched. They would rather unmake existence than allow humanity to maintain its harmony. "Not again," the archivist's voice reached them across space. "We watched countless civilizations fall to this choice. The desire to control reality rather than exist within it. But humanity had been designed for something different. Across Earth, and throughout its orbital installations, awakened humans joined their consciousness into a vast network of harmony. They weren't fighting the inverse. They were singing reality's true song, reinforcing its patterns, strengthening its laws. The inverse weapons began to fail, their corrupted physics unable to take hold in space that was resonating with pure universal harmony. Their impossible ships started to unravel, the broken laws that held them together giving way to reality's true nature. "Wait," Sarah commanded as she sensed the human network preparing to strike back. "Remember what we are. We're not destroyers." Understanding rippled through the awakened consciousness. With their new perception, they could see the truth. The inverse weren't enemies to be destroyed, but wounds to be healed. Humanity reached out not with weapons, but with harmony. They extended the song of reality itself, offering to heal what had been broken. Some of the inverse tried to flee, their twisted forms breaking up as they attempted to escape. Others, perhaps remembering what they had once been, allowed themselves to be embraced by the harmony. When it was over, Earth's orbit was clear of impossible geometries. The wounds in space-time were healing, reality's laws reasserting themselves through humanity's resonance. The inverse were gone, not destroyed, but transformed, their broken patterns reintegrated into the universal harmony. The archivist's presence touched their minds one last time. And so the circle closes. You understand now why you were chosen. Sarah looked at her transformed world, at a humanity that had become what it was always meant to be. We were chosen because we could learn to sing with the universe rather than try to force it to sing for us. Through their quantum senses, they felt the assembly's attention. The beings who had gathered to judge humanity now watched in wonder as Earth became a beacon of harmony in space, its awakened population resonating with the cosmic order they had been designed to protect. The true test was never about power, Maya realized, her consciousness expanding to embrace the beauty of existence. It was about understanding. Humanity had passed that test not by fighting, but by becoming what they truly were, guardians of a harmony that had existed since the universe first sang its own song into being. As their consciousness spread to the stars, they carried with them not conquest or control, but the promise of healing, of balance, of a future where the cosmic dance would continue unbroken. Earth shone with new light, its awakened population, a chorus in the universal symphony. They had been created to be guardians, and now they would fulfill that role not through force, but through harmony. The stars welcomed them not as conquerors, but as protectors of the song that had always been there, waiting for someone who could hear it, join it, and ensure it would never fall silent.